Good afternoon. This is Universal News Media. Today is June 13th, 2018. The images we will be viewing just came in today from the Federal Aviation Weather Cams in Alaska. And also we're going to be viewing some viewer-submitted photos. So I want to thank everybody for sending your pictures in. And also something interesting happened this morning very early, between 2 a.m. and 2:10 a.m. Most of the pictures were removed from the east-facing weather cams in Alaska. Our first video comes from the northeast-facing weather cam in Bradley Lake. The black dot in front of the sun is reflecting upon the water. This reflection can be seen with the naked eye, proving that the black dot is a piece of equipment and not a camera or lighting issue. The east-facing weather cam in Chalkyitzik shows the sun flashing for 3 hours before finally rising. After it does rise, the pink craft is visible, marked with an arrow. Next, a black beam is emitted in preparation for an eclipse or a near eclipse. The oddly shaped bright pink reflection of the craft swings into view from the lower right corner of the screen. Unfortunately, clouds moved in and obscured the viewing of this eclipse, but we'll see another one in a minute. The north-facing weather cam in this same town captured the same thing. On the right, we see the reflection of the craft that we saw in the previous video. But we don't see the craft, but we see the reflection that it creates. After the celestial object has passed in front of the sun, contrast brings out the faint trace outline of the object. It is very well hidden in the atmospheric chemicals, so you have to look closely to see it. In Shavak, the north-facing weather cam shows the sun flashing for about 4 hours before rising. The reason the sun looks so wide is because a controllable but small light source located many miles away from Earth's surface is capable of emitting an enormous amount of glare in order to prevent viewing of these objects. Once the dome-shaped glare moves westward, a planet then emerges from the glare into view. And it's pretty tough to see, but some contrast brings it out better. The northeast-facing weather cam in Cooper Landing shows the morning sky being chemtrailed after 3 a.m. As the morning goes on, we see the artificial light source, which shows up as a black dot whenever an eclipse or a near eclipse is in effect. We see the oddly shaped bright pink reflections of some equipment that works with NASA's artificial light system during these eclipses. The reflection takes on the shape of a Mexican hat, and a reflection of the eclipsing planet is marked with an arrow. The eclipsing planet is nearly invisible in the atmospheric chemicals, but some contrast helps to see it better. This close-up with contrast shows the planet much better. The bright pink reflection always tells us exactly where the eclipsing planet is, because if you draw a line from the pink reflection, then through the black dot, the eclipsing planet always falls in the middle of that line. I've never seen an exception to this. In Cordova, the southwest-facing weather cam shows the morning coming along. It is important to note that there are no clouds in the sky. Remember, it's a cloudless morning here in Cordova. Suddenly, at 6:03 a.m., the sky and landscape become very dark. The shadows that were being cast on the ground by the sun suddenly disappear. We'll run through this again, and this time watch the ground. Watch the shadows on the ground at the bottom of the screen. Trees are casting shadows on the ground. Suddenly, at 6:03, the shadows disappear as the sky and landscape become as dark as early nighttime. 10 minutes later, everything is bright again. The only thing that can cause this sudden darkness and sudden brightness is an eclipse. In delta junction, we see the same bright pink reflections that we always see during an eclipse or a near eclipse. Next, we see the craft that creates the odd-shaped pink reflection. Remember that the odd-shaped reflection tells us exactly where the eclipsing planet is, because if you draw a line from the pink reflection through the black dot, the planet always falls on that line. The eclipsing planet is very difficult to see here without some contrast added. Here are some close-up images which really show the enormous size of this object when you compare it to the mountains below. I mean, look how large this is. In Eagle, Alaska, the northeast-facing weather cam shows an enormous object that is going to eclipse the sun. It is important to see that this object is reacting to the sun's light. Notice how the object becomes lit up by the sun as the sun gets close. A lens flare cannot react to sunlight like this. It is physically and scientifically impossible for a lens flare to become partially or completely illuminated by the object causing the sun or the lens flare. However, this object is reacting to the sun, and it's becoming partially illuminated by the sun. During this 3-hour time-lapse video, the foreign object does not move at all. It's completely stationary. This is probably one of NASA's lenses that they have put in a geosynchronous orbit. The YouTube channel Jeff P. explains these lenses in great detail. He even has the NASA patent, the drawings, the diagram. So to learn more about these lenses, visit Jeff P. In Golovin, we see a red planet. Very, very faint in the atmospheric chemicals, but it is there. In Bradley Lake, the south-facing weather cam showed a very strange round shadow that stayed in the same corner of the screen for hours. Watch the lower right corner of the screen as we go through this time-lapse video. And we know it's not a smudge on the camera lens because the shadow actually moves around, and for a few frames it even disappears. If anyone has any clues as to what this could possibly be, please leave your comment below, because I have no idea what this could be. It's a round shadow, and it stays in the same corner of the screen for hours, but yet it moves around a little bit. It's very strange. And then the same thing showed up on the southwest camera in that same area, but it was only visible for one frame. But look, it's the same shape and the same size as the one we just saw in the previous time-lapse video. Every day, people ask me how they can see these celestial objects with their own phones, their own cameras. Actually, video does the best job. Jeffrey McGaha bought himself an outdoor security camera, and he pointed it at the sky. He has some amazing footage of what shows up on his security camera located in eastern Tennessee. So Jeffrey, thank you for letting me use your screenshots from your YouTube channel so that I can show people how they can get their own pictures of this system. On June 3rd, Jeffrey's security camera captured a very lengthy solar eclipse. Look how dark it is for early afternoon in Tennessee. Now, Jeffrey's footage is actually video, and I'm just showing a few screenshots here, just so you get the essence of what he captured on his video. Note also that a camera 100 miles away from Jeffrey's camera would probably not see this, or it would see something totally different. Because remember, last August 21st in 2017, the solar eclipse path of totality was only 70 miles wide. Most of the world could not see it, except through TV or internet. So anyone interested in capturing images of this system can set up their own outdoor security camera. I know that Walmart sells these, probably a lot of other places, Amazon. And then you can browse through your video footage and put anything interesting on your YouTube channel to share like Jeffrey does. A link to Jeffrey's channel is below in the description box. Thank you everyone who sent in photos and videos to share. Some of these were really amazing. I mean, incredible. I really enjoy going through these pictures, and I'm sure you will too. So the rest of the video today is your pictures. So thank you for watching.